is called to order. Before I continue with my remarks, I'd like to make some introductions. First of all, the panel for today. On my far left is Ms. Natalia Popovic. On my immediate left is Mr. Dominic Gully. On my near right is Mr. Rick Ross, and on my far right is Mr. Bill Dalton. On my left, in the area below, is our acting Deputy Secretary Treasurer, Philip Carvalino. And also in front of us, we have Philip's support staff. And my name is Donald Taylor, and I'll be chairing the meeting today. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning that applies to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create lots. We acknowledge the land we're meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. All visual participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask that you also mute your devices until you're called on to speak. Those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelist when your item is being held. During this time, your camera will be enabled. You will only be visible during your 5-minute allotted speaking time. At all other times, your video will be disabled and you will be reinstated as an attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist controls during a video appearance. The host will remove you from the panelist role if you fail to respect this instruction. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto local appeal body, TLAB, will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto local appeal body or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons and public bodies, as those terms are defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. Our hearing procedure is that I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda, with the exception of cases where the applicant has requested a deferral of consideration of their application today. In those cases, I will call on and we will dispense with those deferral items up front before proceeding with the balance of the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the applicant or agent may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5 minutes. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of this hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of the changes. Then, individuals, either in support or opposed to the application, will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will then be taken into committee for a decision. Before hearing our first item this morning, we will need confirmation of the minutes of the last meeting, which I believe was on October the 9th. So may I have a motion to adopt those minutes, please?
So moved.
Mr. Ross, thank you. A seconder for that motion?
I'll
Mr.
second.
Gully, thank you. All in favor? Okay, the minutes of the meeting held on October the 19th have been adopted. I will ask firstly of panel, are there any declarations of interest for items in this morning time slot?
Yes, I have a conflict with item 1, as the previous transportation engineers were Arcadis. I also work there, so I am declaring a conflict.
Okay, so it's just number 1 from this morning. Okay. And staff, are there any declarations of interest from staff? No. Okay, thank you. Mr. Acting Deputy Secretary Treasurer, that's a mouthful. Have you received any requests for deferral from this morning's agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item 10, 19 Belvedere.
Okay, thank you. And sir, do we have any applications to close files from this morning's agenda?
None on today's agenda.
Okay, thank you. All right, then we'll proceed with item 10, an applicant requested deferral. And I will call on the agent, Sal Crimi.
Good morning through you, Mr. Chair. Sal Creamy, address 2572 Eglinton Avenue West.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Could you explain why you want to defer your item today?
So, per the cover letter, a thorough site inspection was conducted by a structural engineer, and there were issues present with the existing roof framing, as it is an older home. As such, the complete roof needs to be reframed, which will increase the height of the ridge point, creating a variance. And that's the long and skinny. So we got our updated notice. We'll defer today, and then we'll resubmit for a later date as to provide proper notice to residents because of the additional variance related to height.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Crimi. Panel, any questions for Mr. Crimi? And is there anybody, Thomas, in the hearing room or at home that wishes to address this item?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So we're safe to proceed then to a motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will move to adjourn this matter, to defer this matter, to allow the applicant to have time to deal with the structural issues.
Thank you, Ms. Popovic. Seconder for Ms. Popovic's motion. Thank you, Mr. Ross. All in favor? Okay, item 10 has been deferred by a unanimous affirmative vote. So now we can proceed to the regular agenda, starting with item 1. 5238 Dundas Street West, and 28 Jopling Avenue South. Purpose of this application, whoop,
That I can borrow.
purpose is to alter the development standards as outlined in bylaw 924-2024 in order to accommodate a 41-story purpose-built rental building that will contain a total of 521 residential units. There are 16 variances. We have Community Planning Department conditions of approval, or a condition of approval, and Transportation Review is okay with this application. And we have virtually Michael Goldberg as the primary agent who will be presenting this application. Mr. Goldberg?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. And sir, just before you present, I'm hoping that you will highlight for us really the essence of our decision-making criteria, which is rationalizing or justifying the incremental difference between the bylaw that you're proposing to seek variances from.
Yes.
Because that's what we do, right? We assess variances against the 4 tests. So I'm assuming and hoping that your presentation includes that, and that if it doesn't, you will include it, and that you will be able to do the whole thing in less than 5 minutes. Are you up for that challenge, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I did provide a presentation, and I'm wondering if it could be put onto the screen. But while that's being put onto the screen, I will say that the owner, Representative Emily Edmonds, Farzad, Gorgi, and Adrian Lee of the Architectural Office are here to answer any questions as well, if need be. So this is, the origin of this application is that this was an approved building through a settlement with City Council. The final order was issued in 2024, so that's what the origin of bylaw 914/2004. And what commenced immediately following that was quite intensive work on the site plan application. And we've been working with staff, and we've gotten into the granular consideration, or the fine-grained consideration of architecture, the mechanical elements of the building, the structural elements of the building, and the constructability considerations that go into building a significant building like this. I can tell you, since the original approval, it is now a declared purpose-built rental housing with CMHC funding. And what carries with that are more efficient and energy-related efficiencies in the mechanical system, which also prompt some reconsideration of the mechanical system here. So what this led to, all this reconsideration led to, is a moderately higher building of it's 8.5 meters higher cumulatively, which involves a higher mechanical penthouse and higher elements within the building for structural reasons. The mechanical penthouse is only taller by 1.2 meters, but it does envelop, or I should say cover, the entire roof structure at this point, as opposed to just 60% of it. But what the architect has done is quite a seamless job from an architectural point of view of presenting that. So there isn't a pop-up any longer above mechanical penthouse. It's just seamlessly integrated into the architecture. There's also bicycle storage changes, which is one of the variances before you. Now, what you have is the same number of stories that were approved, the same amount of GFA, and basically, to anyone walking the street, the look and the feel and the character and shape and even height of the building. No one will perceive the additional 8.5 meters, and the rest of the building largely remains unaltered. Now, there is a long variance list, which I'm going to say satisfies section 45(1) of the Planning Act, the 4 tests of it meeting the official plan, the general intent of the zoning bylaw, the variances being minor, and the variances being appropriate for the development and the land. What you have in this consultation that's taken place, which spanned months, several months, with city staff, community planning, urban design, transportation review, before this application was submitted. And you see that there's a positive staff report from community planning, which includes urban design, and there's the transportation review are fine and quite comprehensively reviewed the transportation related variances. It wasn't my intent, Mr. Chair, to go through the individual variances because individually, I think they're all really quite minor, arising from these changes that have taken place, both transportation, mechanical, and structural, but they don't change the character and scale of the building because the GFA is the same as it was when it was approved. So I'm going to leave it there. I do note that there's no objections. I do note that the councillor has not written in expressing any objection to the application, and all the staff responsible for reviewing are supportive of this revision. So while the variance list may seem long, it's resulting in a building, a purpose-built rental building that, should you approve this application, will lead to a shovel-ready application, and this application is funded, or this building project is funded and ready to go for construction. So I thank you very much, and I'd be happy to answer any questions any committee member may have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Goldberg. So before we proceed, panel, any questions or comments for Mr. Goldberg at this stage?
Chair, I had a question.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Mr. Goldberg. I was wondering, is it possible for you to sort of package these 16 variances into a more compact type of explanation? At first glance, 16 variances are numerous, and the question that arises to myself and perhaps other committee members is why you would be coming to Committee of Adjustment with 16 variances. I believe that even though you have 16 variances, those variances can be compartmentalized or can be summarized in terms of changes to GFA or changes to height or changes to mobility issues or changes to encroachments or setback. Is there a way for you to, in this short notice of question here, summarize them under these subtitles, such as
Yes.
GFA, such as height, such as encroachment, such as mobility, and such as setback?
So
Sure.
categories, 3 or 4 categories maybe, or something like that.
I think that's right, and I think that's probably a very useful way to go through the application. So there are, in our cover letter, we did just that. We related it to height. We talked about the number of stories. We talked about some of the setbacks and accessibility requirements, and the access related things. So for instance, you can see if whoever is controlling the screen, if you could turn to electronic page 6 of the presentation, not of the letter, but of the presentation. Okay, and what they do is they change diagram 6 of the zoning, of the permitted zoning bylaw, and it shows how the difference, and there it is here. So on the left-hand side of the page, is the approved bylaw, and on the right-hand side of the page, you can see There are 4 variances that relate to this, and you can see how the diagram changes. The shape of the building doesn't change at all. I looked at the setbacks in quite a high degree of detail this morning and earlier. They don't change. What relates are different elements of height of the podium building and the overall height of the roof line and mechanical penthouse. So some of these categories can be lumped into this schedule alone. Variances 4 to 7 are all vehicular related, and they are discussed in the transportation review comments, and I think they did quite a good job in explaining some of the technical things. We were actually surprised that Auckland Road is in fact a major street. We thought that Dundas is a major street, of course, and that no access, of course, is proposed off of Dundas, but when access was proposed to be off of Auckland for the efficient circulation of the vehiculars on and off site, it just so happens that some variances are prompted because Auckland is considered a major street. Then, in terms of the bicycle parking, there is a variance relating to that in variance number 16. More recently, council has passed various bylaws to allow for short-term and long-term bicycle parking to be reduced, and the reduction will be not ignored. It won't just be reduced, but whatever's reduced, you'll have to pay a bicycle parking or cash in lieu of bicycle parking, and that's what the staff report is largely about, the community planning staff report, and that is what the $63,000 will be a payment towards should you approve this application. And in the accessible parking, if you can go to page 9 of the presentation, please. It shows you what this variance is. So we wanted to try to optimize the number of parking spaces that we would provide on site within the parking levels provided. And because of the structural columns, while this isn't, the requirement requires the closest or handicap parking or accessible parking to be the closest parking spaces to the accessible elevator. This one is across the aisle from the vestibule, but you can see that there's a parking space, a parallel parking space closer, and therefore the variance is response. But it's not like it's off into a corner of the parking garage. It's still across the aisle, but a variance is requested because it's a relative closer or nearer situation in the bylaw standards. So, Mr. Chair, all of these it does sound like a lot in terms of 16 variances, but cumulatively, they are tweaking of the internal workings and, in some respects, the external things at the top of the building to enable this building to work in accordance with the standards for the mechanical and the fine-grained consideration of the structural, and to ensure that an efficient constructability project is available to us here. But cumulatively, these variances, both individually and cumulatively, in my opinion, satisfy all 4 tests of Section 45(1) of the Planning Act. And I think that opinion, which is mine, and I'm a registered professional planner, I think is supported by the professional staff of the City of Toronto that are providing you advice. I hope that answers the question, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Ross, Ms. Popovic, any questions or comments before we proceed? Okay. Do we have anyone in the hearing room that came to speak to item number 1? No? Could I just ask you 3 what item you're here for? Like maybe starting with you, ma'am? Which one? 15. You, sir? 2? And you? Number 2, coming up. Okay. All right. So I think that we can go into committee and have some discussion on this one. I think it's demanding of some discussion.
Chair, I'm prepared to share what I've learned on this application with my committee members. I think the explanation of the speaker really makes the application more palatable for committee members to examine and review and assess. I did that same exercise that the speaker explained to us based on the question that I had asked them. I went through each of the variances and tried to compartmentalize them. And in my view, even though we've got 16 variances, and typically when we get an application with variances of 4, 5, 6, 7, those numbers, we ask, or I ask myself, if that many variances are required, why are they here? But we don't operate on matters of numbers, the numbers of variances that applicants come in and come to us with. We operate on assessing each of those variances and whether each of the variances meet the 4 tests individually and then cumulatively. And my assessment of those 16 variances were indeed very similar to the response that was given by the speaker. Generally, after having done that assessment, I found that there was one setback variance. There were about 5 variances that related to height. There were 4 variances that related to GFA, 1 variance that related to encroachment, and perhaps 6 mobility issue variances. And I refer to them as mobility issue references because they relate to vehicular parking, but also relate to bicycle. And at the end of the day, I find that the look of the 41-story building, that has been approved, does not change. There are no changes to the GFA. There are some minor yet nominal height variances that are unperceptible. And the third, mobility issues that are addressed adequately, in my view, and meet the 4 tests. So that's my assessment of the application. I'm not sure how the other members feel, Chair.
Yeah, thanks. That's an excellent summary and sort of consolidation of your excellent thinking. So, anything else, panel?
Mr. Chair, I agree with my colleague that the presentation by the agent was very helpful. I agree that the categorization and subcategories approach was very helpful as well. That said, we do have to consider the application both individually and cumulatively. And on balance, in my view, I remain concerned that the 4 tests have not been met on that approach of individual and cumulative considerations. So I do remain somewhat concerned, having appreciated the presentation, which was well done, and noting the position of our internal departments.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Popovic. Mr. Ross, anything to say before we invite a motion?
No, they had a couple of good summaries here.
So you're good to proceed?
I was just going to ask Ms. Popovich if you could expand a little bit on why you feel they don't individually or cumulatively. Why?
In my view, our role is to consider variances, both individually but also cumulatively. So that, to me, on balance, and it's a weighing of each one and as a whole. So in my view, I remain concerned that the 4 tests have not met all of those levels, both individual and cumulative.
Okay, so I think it's now time for us to consider a motion from one of you three.
Chair, I'm prepared to make a motion. I understand and appreciate and respect the comments that have been made. The reason we're a panel is because we're individually going to assess these applications, and we want to ensure that we're making excellent, educated decision on each of these applications. And indeed, when at first review, you start examining this application with 16 variances, there's always that concern. Is it really minor? The application itself, and individually, are all of these variances minor, and do each of them meet the 4 tests? In my assessment of this application, I find that the application itself does not change from what was approved back in September 2024. I find that the look of the building, a 41-story building, does not change. I find that the variances that are being requested individually are, in some cases, technical in nature, and in most cases, minor. And we have a report from city planning that speaks to a condition relating to the payment of cash in lieu of parking spaces. But also, professional staff have assessed this application, and I think they don't raise any issues in the report regarding the fact that the applicant is coming to this committee to ask for these minor changes. They don't comment on any specific variance individually or cumulatively as being egregious. And on the force of that report also, that helped me make my assessment that this application is a good application. It meets the 4 tests. So I would like to move approval subject to the city planning condition articulated in the report dated October 15, 2025. It's my understanding that there are no urban forestry conditions attached to this file, so move approval with the one condition, the city planning condition. That's my motion, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gully. Is there a seconder for Mr. Gully's motion? No one's prepared to second the motion to approve this application? Okay, you are or no?
Yeah.
You are. Okay, we have a motion duly seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, the motion to approve carries by a vote of 3-1. Thank you, everyone, for your participation, your thinking. It was a rather complex one, but we've done our job.
Mr. Chair, before we proceed, I just want to ask who this person is. They just signed in. I don't have them on my list, so I just want to see.
I'm sorry, I didn't follow that.
I just need to check on this one person.
Oh.
Alex?
No, I know. No, Kev, I'm good. It's just we need to, me and Ziv have to both be on the call for this. There's no point in me and you talking about it.
Okay, just wanted to confirm. Okay.
Because like I won't even register what we're talking about right now. I just have other.
Okay, thank you.
So we can move on to item 2? Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Item 2 is 7 Rufford Road. Purpose is to construct a new detached dwelling in the rear yard. The existing vinyl shed in the rear yard will be demolished. There's one variance for a very minor adjustment to the lot coverage from 33% to 34.6. We have an MTO advisory, a support letter from the immediate neighbor. Before we proceed, panel, may I propose to you that we consider this to be very straightforward and not requiring a presentation? Okay. So we have representing the application is the co-owner Ken Ruston. Is that you, sir? So what we've just decided is we don't really need to hear any remarks from you on this. Pretty clear, pretty straightforward. So if you're okay, we'll just proceed. If we've got a question, of course, you're here to answer that. But all right, we'll proceed on that basis then. So panel, any questions or comments, or please table a motion.
Mr. Chair, my colleagues have no other comments. I propose to move approval on this matter. It is relatively streamlined. It has received the MTO review and, caution that the MTO review and approval will be required. And I note there is one letter of support. I move to approve with no conditions.
Thank you, Ms. Popovic.
I'll second that.
Seconder. Mr. Dalton,
I'll second that.
all in favor? Unanimously approved. Go and build your shed. Item 3, 77 22nd Street. Purpose is to construct a second-story addition above the existing dwelling and a new front porch. There are 2 variances. We have no agency comments or conditions. We have an opposition letter from the immediate neighbor at number 79, but the issues identified in that letter are construction related as opposed to, they don't mention any of the variances that are either of the variances. So I'm suggesting that we consider, panel, this to be minor, straightforward, and we'll just proceed. I don't think we have any, we do have the speaker. Okay. Okay, it's not as straightforward as we thought. That's okay. We have the agent, Jonathan Benskowski.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, committee.
Hi, Mr. Benskowski. Yeah, I'm assuming and hoping that you have read Ms. Kubula's letter regarding your application.
I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay. I don't think, you need some time, I think, to just explain where you're coming from with respect to her letter, and we'll be inviting her to speak as well. The variances are, I don't think you have to speak to them. They're pretty straightforward.
I can do whatever you like, Mr.
Well,
Chair.
okay, here, I got a proposal for you. Let's invite Ms. Kabulas up to speak, and then you can rebut her remarks.
Absolutely, Mr. Chair.
Okay, let's do it that way. So, Helen Kubulas.
Good morning.
Good morning. So
Okay.
you wish to speak to 77 22nd Street?
Mm-hmm.
And I would just remind you, and I said it in my remarks before I even noticed that you had your name on the list here, but the issues we're dealing with here are the 2 variances and whether or not they meet the 4 tests under the Planning Act. Virtually everything you communicated had to do with construction issues, noise, dust, spillage over your boundary line. So I'm just, I'm just inviting you to please focus your remarks on the impact, if any, of the two variances on the enjoyment of your property.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
just to let you know, what I did send in was I was kind of time limited, I guess. So the notice, was posted very shortly before the deadline in order to report. That's number one. And number two is that we do have some questions on the variances that are requested, not necessarily to prevent our neighbors from doing what it is that they need to do to beautify their home and, to make it livable. But we're not here to do that. I'm not exactly understanding what it is that they want to do in terms of the front porch, because how it appears when you're looking at the house from the sidewalk is that the front entryway would be to the right, but here it shows that it's coming to the left, which is right beside my driveway. Can we get some clarification on that, please?
Mr. Benskowski will provide that. You just continue making comments or asking questions. We don't answer them, but the agent will.
Yes, and also, when was that notice posted for the variance? Because, like I said, everything was kind of last minute and trying to sort through all of this, because I'm not someone who obviously sits in your meetings, your committee meetings, not really aware of the process. So that time constraint was a little difficult to navigate through.
Okay, well, why don't I just stop you right there for a minute, and I'll ask staff, are we satisfied that this notice was handled in accordance with the rules under the Planning Act?
Through you, Mr. Chair, the notice was mailed before October 6th. We know about the Canada Post disruptions. Notices were also posted in the Toronto Star. So we've met the obligations of the Planning Act.
Okay, so we're satisfied, ma'am, that the notification was processed in accordance with the rules under the Ontario Planning Act. So I know it's tight, but those are the rules. So do you have any other comments before we ask Mr. Benskowski to join us?
Yes.
Yes, we want to know where the porch is. So the blueprint that was mailed to us and that we received, currently the doorway and the walkway to the house is closer to 75 22nd Street, but the blueprint is now showing that the doorway, the walkway, and the porch would be closer to 79 22nd Street. So we want to know what the variance is, because the way it's being built versus the blueprint are two different things.
Okay. So that's it. I can invite the agent to address your questions then?
Absolutely.
All right. So, Mr. Benskowski, you've heard from Ms. Kubulos. If you could address her issues and questions?
Yes, absolutely. I did submit a brief presentation, just a couple of things that I think should clarify both of Ms. Kubulos'
Sure,
questions.
go ahead.
We could bring that up, please.
Where did you send the?
Yeah, we don't see
I don't
it.
think we have anything on file.
Oh, I did get confirmation that it was received.
We
All
just
we
have
have is
photos.
photos.
There should be one photo and then a brief diagram out. No, that's not it. I did get confirmation from Nicole that it was received. Okay, I think it's pretty straightforward. If we can go to one of the photos of what was submitted for the trees in terms of the front, if we could just zoom in on a picture of the front elevation. Sure, no, that wouldn't work. Yeah, that will work if we can zoom in on that one. So essentially what's happening is there's a recessed porch on the right side of the screen that we can see there. It's essentially the filling in of that area that's recessed on the right side, and then extending the second floor to be flat at the front. So it would now be a flat facade rather than a sloped roof going back with a dormer, which you can't see that is behind that tree. There's no reduction to the actual front setback. Again, it is being built in line. This is somewhat of a technical variance as it relates to the setback because the dwelling has a frontage of less than 12.2 meters. The actually building in line with it does trigger the variance. Now, if we go to the floor plans, I can probably show it a little bit better. I do wish we had that diagram that I sent in because I did color in what was happening. So if we could bring up the floor plan, that might help us also. I believe there's, if we could just go down, continue down to the first. Yeah, if we could zoom in maybe on the bottom right corner of the drawing itself. Yeah. So what you'll see here is if we did zoom in a little bit more, you would see a dotted line, which is the existing recessed porch that is to be removed. Yeah, that's perfect. We see next to where we see the 47-inch wide door, we see the recessed porch that is essentially being filled in. That's essentially the application. It's just the filling in of that recessed porch. The actual front main wall is not altered, nor is any walkway going closer. As you can see from here, the existing front porch, the new front porch and stairs are actually proposed in line with the sidewall that's there today. And if we continue on to the second floor, maybe just go down one page. That's it, perfect. If you zoom in there, we'll see the dotted line where we see the 1.19 meter extension at the front, again, which is in line with the first floor. I think that should answer the questions of the adjacent neighbor.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Benskowski. Panel, any questions for Mr. Benskowski? No? So are we ready to consider a motion then?
Sure. I'd like to move a motion. I believe this application is very straightforward. It meets the 4 tests, and there are no conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. A seconder for Mr. Dalton?
Second?
Thank you, Mr. Gully. All in favor? That's approved unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Benskowski. Thank you, Ms. Kabulas. Now move to item 4. (936th Street). Purpose is to construct a new detached dwelling with an attached garage. The new detached dwelling will have 2 units. There's 1 variance. We have urban forestry condition 2. No other agency comments or conditions. Panel, may we treat this as a straightforward application, not requiring presentation? Thank you very much. So, the agent is Franco Romano. Mr. Romano.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the panel. Happy to go directly into questions. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. So are there any questions, panel, of Mr. Romano? No, okay, let's have a motion then.
Chair.
No speakers.
Chair, a truly minor variance in this case. Main wall height from 7 to 7.3. Move approval with urban forestry condition number 2.
Thank you, Mr. Gully. All in favor?
I'll second.
Sorry, seconder. Ms. Popovic, all in favor? Good. Change the order, but the result's the same. Unanimously approved. Thank you, Mr. Romano. Moving on to item 5. 55 Lockerbie Avenue. Purpose is to construct a partial second-story addition above the existing dwelling, a 2-story front addition, 2 new basement walkouts, a new rear deck, and a new front porch. There are 3 variances. We have no agency comments or conditions. We have no neighbor input. Panel, are we agreeable to treating this as a straightforward application, not requiring a presentation? Thank you very much.
Opposition letter, and
There's what?
There's a late opposition letter.
Oh, on this one?
Yeah, you can let me know if you'd like to review it. I can bring it up. It's up to you.
Well, if it's late, is it? As far as I'm concerned, if we didn't get it on time, it's not for consideration unless anybody's curious. Okay. Outvoted.
Is the author here to speak to? Not that I'm aware of. Okay. Would you please invite her?
So this is from across the street, 54. Does anyone need any more time to read and consider this letter? We're good? Okay, so there's no other interest in this application then, so we can, Mr. Hans Zhu is the agent?
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chair. Present.
Yeah, hi. We've, the panel doesn't really require a presentation from you, if that's okay. We'd propose to you that we proceed with, without a presentation. I know you sent one in additional information, but we've read that. And we're okay to proceed without a presentation from you. And if you can just be open for any questions if we have any?
Of course.
Is that okay? Okay,
Yes, sir.
then.
Of course,
So
thank you.
if there are no questions, we can have a motion.
Sure. I'd like to move a motion. Again, I find this application completely straightforward. It meets the 4 tests, and there are no conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Seconder?
I will.
Oh, Mr. Ross. All in favor? Unanimously approved.
Apologies, Mr. Chair. I just gonna want to check one more person.
Yeah,
named
do that.
Kevin.
And just while you're doing that, I'm going to ask if there's any interest in a break now or soon, or like a little break?
Kevin, can you
15
identify
minutes?
which item you're here for?
Okay, 15-minute break? Yeah,
The user named Kevin?
you've already had yours.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Hello? Yes.
Hi, Kevin. Sorry, what item are you here for?
I was just sitting in.
Oh, so you're just observing, you're not going to speak?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
We are on item 6, 26 Boxwood Road. Purpose is to construct a second-story addition above the existing dwelling, a two-story front and rear additions, and a new rear deck. There is one variance to adjust the FSI from 0.45 permitted to 0.49 times requested. There are no agency comments or conditions, no neighborhood input. Panel, may we treat this as straightforward, not requiring a presentation? What's that? Oh, yes, urban forestry too. Yes, sorry. Yep, that's right. The agent is Eric Brading. Mr. Brading?
I'm just trying to unmute him. Please, let me just see if he can unmute him for some reason. No one else besides the agent. Just sorry, Eric. I'm trying to unmute you.
We'll have to jump ahead and come back.
Yeah, Eric, if you could just join the WebEx again. I'm having difficulty unmuting you, and just make sure to allow your permissions for your mic. Okay, Eric.
Hi, is it? Oh, it's working. Great.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr.
Hello, Chair. Hello, Chair Committee. I'm available for any questions. I have no presentation prepared.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you. So, panel, any questions for Mr. Brading? Yes? No? No? Okay, let's have a motion then.
Chair, I'm going to move that the application for 26 Boxwood Drive for an FSI from 0.45 to 0.49 be authorized. Move approval subject to urban forestry condition number 2.
Thank you, Mr. Gully. Seconder for Mr. Gully's motion. Thank you, Ms. Popovic. All in favor? It's unanimously approved. Thank you, Mr. Brading. Okay, applications 7 and 8. 7 is 1876A Keele Street. Item 8 is 1876B Keele Street. The agent is Craig Rice. Mr. Rice? Oh, first of all, panel, are we okay with treating these two as straightforward? Yes. Good, okay. Craig Rice, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, good morning. Sir, are you okay? We find your applications very clear and straightforward. We don't need a presentation from you. Would you be okay with proceeding on the basis of perhaps us asking a question or two if we have any?
Certainly, Mr. Chair.
Not presenting. And I'd also propose that you, or I guess what we're going to do is we're going to consider both of these. They're almost identical. But we'll make two motions for. You probably could have made one application here. I don't know, but anyway, we'll make two motions at the end of our deliberations. Okay.
Certainly, these are two separate properties, hence why.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you. Yep. Separate owners. Okay, so we have identical planning condition applicable to both. We have urban forestry on number 7 requested deferral or condition 2, and then on October 15th they suggested as an alternative to deferring their condition 1. And 1876B, number 8, similar, they requested deferral initially, and on October 15th, provided their condition 1 as an alternative for our consideration. These are both revised applications, and as I said, there's also a planning condition.
Basically the same planning condition.
Yeah. Yeah, same planning condition. So if none of you have any questions or comments, we can consider let's do two motions, one at a time. So let's do number 7 first.
Mr. Chair, I will bring that motion. For number 7, 1876A, Keele Street, I move to approve subject to conditions of urban forestry and planning.
And that's with respect to the revised application.
To the revised application, yes, that was, I think there was one change.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Ms. Popovic. Seconder for Ms. Popovic's motion. Mr. Ross, thank you very much. All in favor? Unanimously approved. And let's have a motion now for number 8.
So I'll move to approve number 8, subject to the planning condition and subject to forestry.
You said forestry, right?
Yes.
And that's, again, with respect to the revised application? Yep, okay. Seconder for Mr.
I'll second
Ross's
that.
motion. Mr. Dalton, thank you very much. All in favor? That's unanimously approved. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Race. Got your 2 approvals. Item 9, 104 Wyndale Drive. Purpose is to construct an attached garage along the west side of the dwelling, a second-story addition above the existing dwelling, and a new front porch.
Having a lot of front porches.
Yeah. There are 3 variances. Panel, do we agree this is a straightforward application not requiring a presentation?
Agree.
Saba Al Mathno, agent?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Sabal Methna from QBS Architects.
Thanks. So are you okay with just proceeding without a presentation and being available for questions if we have any? Sir?
Yes, sir.
You're okay with that?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. And there's also 2 support letters that were submitted in connection with this application. So panel, unless there are any questions or comments, we can consider a motion.
Mr. Chair, my colleagues have any questions or comments? Otherwise, I will bring the motion to approve. I do note the letters in support, and I do not see any conditions.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Popovic.
I'll second that.
Mr. Dalton, all in favor? Unanimously approved. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Item 10 has been deferred. Item 11. '95 Bernice Crescent. Purpose to convert the ancillary building currently under construction in the rear yard into a garden suite. There are 3 variances. We have 6 support letters, a Metrolinx advisory, and a planning condition. Does anyone on the panel require or request a presentation? We're good?
Mr. Chair, I just had one question.
Yeah, well, I'll get there. Yeah, that's right. Just hold that for a sec. Andrew Dales, agent.
I'm here. Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee.
Hi. Yeah, we've just concluded this is a straightforward application. We don't require a presentation from you. However, we have at least one question for you. Are you okay to proceed on this basis?
Sure, that sounds great.
Okay, great. Ms. Popovic, you have a question.
Thank you. I have a question about 95 Bernice Crescent and 101 Bernice Crescent. Is there any relationship or connection or between the 2?
Yes, so I'll just briefly state that 95 and 101 Bernice are nearly identical lots that were created by consent and approved for detached dwellings in 2021. Subsequently, and the one in the middle was also approved at the same time, but it was subsequently sold. And so the owner of the current owner of 95 and 101 Bernice was initially involved in the severance and the approvals for all 3 of them.
Thank you for that.
Okay, Ms.
Mr. Chair,
Popovic?
yes, so Mr. Chair, is it something that we should deal with jointly or not? I'm in your hands.
Do it individually.
Yeah, let's do them, do them individually.
Thank you.
So can we have a motion for our number 11? 95 Bernice?
I will do so.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I move to approve. I note in particular 5 or 6 letters of support. I note that community planning has 1 condition, and that's it. I think Metrolinx has advisory on it. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion from Ms. Popovic to approve with a planning condition.
I'll
Seconded.
second that.
Mr. Dalton, all in favor? Unanimously approved. And I think we can just move right to a motion on number 12. If anyone's ready.
I will do so again.
Go for it.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve this 101 Bernice Crescent application on similar terms, I believe, for community planning and similar advisory for Metrolinx, and also a similar number of support letters.
Thank you, Ms. Popovic. Seconder.
I'll second that.
Mr. Dalton, all in favor? Unanimously approved. Thank you, Mr. Dales.
Thank you, sir. We would have preferred to see the Metrolinx condition removed. In my experience, the committee has been somewhat hesitant to impose that Metrolinx condition these days.
Who's speaking?
Oh, it's the applicant. I was just commenting on the Metrolinx condition, but I guess we're already past that.
He was talking to his client. Is that what happened? Whatever. Item 13, 7 to 11 Arleta Avenue. Purpose is to construct 3 new front canopies. 1 canopy will be located at 7 Arleta, and 2 canopies will be located at number 11 Arleta. There's 1 variance. We have a ravine and natural features protection advisory, no other comments or conditions, no neighborhood input. Panel, are we okay to proceed on the basis of this being straightforward? Okay. Andrzej Fabian is the agent?
Yes. Hello, Mr. Chair, committee members. Andrzej Fabian here.
Hello. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We've decided we don't really require a presentation. It's a pretty straightforward application. Are you okay to proceed with us asking a question or two, if we have any? But beyond that, we'll just proceed to a motion. Okay, thank you. So panel, any questions before we open up for, we'll go into committee then for a motion?
Chair, I'm going to move that the application be approved. 3 canopies are being recommended for construction. They're not allowed in the front yard. These canopies are desirable. There is no negative impact associated with them. Move, approval, no conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Gully. Seconder?
I'll second that.
Mr. Dalton, all in favor? Unanimously approved. Thank you, Mr. Fabian. Item 14. (36 11th Street). Purpose is to construct a new semi-detached garage in the rear yard. 3 variances. We had Urban Forestry requesting deferral, and then by memo dated October 10th, they recommended to us, or offered to us, the alternative of imposing their conditions 1 and 2 for a city-owned and a privately owned tree. Again, panel, are we set? There's no public agency comments, conditions beyond urban forestry. No neighborhood comments. Are we satisfied to proceed on the basis of being straightforward? Thank you. Let's invite the agent. Kazimira Matz.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, ma'am, we find your application very straightforward. We don't really require a presentation from you. Are you okay with proceeding on that basis? And being available for any questions if we have any?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's do that then. So panel, any questions or comments? No? Then let's have a motion.
Chair, I'm going to move that the three variances being requested with respect to 36 11th Street be authorized. One variance relates to a small increase in coverage, one relates to floor area, and one relates to rear yard setback. All three variances nominal, desirable. Move approval subject to urban forestry conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Gully. A seconder for Mr. Gully's motion. Ms. Popovic, thank you. All in favor? That's approved unanimously. Moving to item 15, and ma'am, you're here to speak to this one? You're not speaking. You're observing. How do you like us so far? So we do have Rick Bongers, correct?
Can you hear me?
Okay, now I misspoke on the last one. I waxed eloquent on urban forestry. What I said pertains to this one now. But we did have urban forestry 2 on 14, so we're covered off. Yep. So this is the one that's, 15? Yeah, 15. Yeah. Let me just pull this one up. Okay, this is, 44 Humbervale Boulevard. Construct a second-story addition above the existing dwelling. 2 variances. Urban Forestry requested deferral, and then by memo dated October 10th, they offered us the alternative to impose their conditions 1 and 2 with respect to city-owned and private-owned trees. The agent is, and we've decided we're going to treat this as straightforward. Yeah. The agent is Rick Bongers. Mr. Bongers?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee.
So if you've been listening in, you'll be aware that we've decided this is a straightforward application, not requiring a presentation from you.
Yes.
If you're available to answer any questions, are you okay to proceed on that basis?
Certainly.
Okay, let's do that then. So, any comments, questions?
Question.
Question.
So the tree protection and plan review memo notes, well, they're looking for the deferral, but have you then provided them with the additional information that they're looking for, or is that still pending?
I believe it's still pending. What I was going to suggest is we just attach the condition of urban forestry to the application rather than a deferral. I mean, we'll work in conjunction and negotiation with urban forestry for their approval in any case.
Okay. No, I just wanted to see if you had done anything at this point. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So we ready to go into committee for a motion? Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Popovic, yeah.
I will bring that motion. And the motion is for approval with urban forestry conditions 4.
No, it wouldn't be 4.
I'll say urban forestry conditions that staff will confirm. And those are the only conditions.
That's
Thank
it?
you.
Yep. Okay, move for approval by Ms. Popovic, subject to urban forestry conditions 1 and 2. Is there a seconder for that motion?
I'll second that.
Mr. Dalton, all in favor? It's approved unanimously. Item 16, we have 3 items to go until this morning session terminates. Item 16, 115 Lomar Drive. Purpose is to relocate the existing driveway. 2 variances. We have a support petition. We had urban forestry requesting denial in their consolidated memo. And then on October 10th, they requested as an alternative for our consideration their condition number 1 with respect to a city-owned tree. Do we need a presentation panel? I beg your pardon?
Just the one with the driveway comparison photo?
Yeah. So the agent is Karam Ramkalawan? Ramkalawan? Karen?
It's Karen Ramkalawan. Thank you, Mr. Committee, Mr. Chair. I am the homeowner at 115.
Oh, okay, I see. Good, yes, I see that. So are you okay? We don't need a presentation from you, but if you're, could you be available to, as an alternative, answering questions if we have any?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that then. So panel, any questions or comments?
I have one question.
You have a question? Sure. Ms. Popovic, yep.
Thank you. Madam Homeowner, can you explain your reason or your desire to relocate your driveway?
The reason for relocating the driveway to the front of the home, so to make better use of the backyard and to make it a safe space. Relocating the driveway to the front. I have gone around the neighborhood. I will not be changing the neighborhood landscape. There's existing driveways to the front of the home.
That's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, we've been provided, well, I guess you provided the pictures of similar situations, but do you have the actual approvals from the Committee of Adjustment for those altered driveways?
Those are similar driveways in the neighborhood. I'm not sure if the homeowners did get, approvals. I have been in the neighborhood for 30 plus years and they have been existing like that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else, panel? No? By way of questions? We have a motion then? Or do you have a question, ma'am? Yeah.
I'll bring that motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, go
On
ahead.
the basis of the information provided by the owner, on review and subject to urban forestry condition, I move to approve and noting the support petition as well. I move to approve with that condition.
Okay, thank you. Seconder for Ms. Popovic's motion, Mr. Ross, thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, carries, approval carries 4-1. Pardon me?
Who voted against?
Your colleague to the right.
When you're kind of in the middle, you got to turn both ways.
Moving on to item 17. 17 Duncairn Drive. Purpose is to construct a new detached dwelling with an attached garage. 5 variances. There's a revised application. I'm not sure how many variances there are now. Is this the revised application on the screen? Is that the revised one, Olivia? No?
I don't think it is.
Oh, there we go. Okay, still 5 variances. Number 5 was amended. Okay. The only agency comment here, we had Urban Forestry requesting denial, and then by memo dated October 10th, offered as an alternative their conditions 1 and 2 with respect to city-owned and private-owned trees. Pan, are we okay with proceeding? Oh, no, we do have a speaker on this one.
So, Mr. Speaker, that's the owner. They just wanted to be an observer, so they're not going to participate.
This gentleman is not here, correct?
No, they were supposed to be in person, but they're online. But again, they're just an observer.
Sorry, is he listening? Huh?
Yeah, they're just
So
here.
he wants.
They're not going to. He's not going to speak. He has the agent.
He doesn't want to speak.
No.
Okay, Jamie Higgins is the agent.
Yes, good morning, Chair and committee members. the revised application was just to address urban forestry's recommendations for denial. We have a new proposed driveway that's to just keep the existing driveway, so therefore pose no injury or harm to the two existing trees, one city-owned and one private.
Okay. Any other questions, panel?
Yeah, so with that then, taking it from 6 to 4.13, that saves the tree, and then that also then connects with your October 20th arborist report, noting that the 5 trees can be preserved for all phases, correct?
Yes, that is correct, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions, panel?
No, thank you.
So we can entertain a motion then?
Chair, I'm prepared to make a motion on this one, 17 Duncairn Drive. Variances requested relate to coverage from 33% to 35.3, FSI from 0.45 to 0.56, a height variance, and a revised driveway variance from 3.2 to 4.13. I believe the variances that are being requested are appropriate, desirable. Move approval, subject to condition, urban forestry conditions 1 and 2.
Thank you, Mr. Gully. Is there a seconder for Mr. Gully's motion?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. All in favor? That's approved unanimously. The last items on this morning's agenda is number 18, 12 22nd Street. Purpose is to maintain the garden suite currently under construction in the rear yard. A previous Committee of Adjustment decision approved a variance related to rear yard landscaping. So we have one variance regarding the minimum rear yard setback for an ancillary building containing a garden suite is 1.5 meters. And this ancillary building containing a garden suite currently under construction is located 1.3 meters from the rear lot line. We have urban forestry condition 2, no other agency comments or conditions, and no comments from the neighbors. Can we treat this panel as straightforward?
Yes, agreed.
Thank you. Mirka Kulesha is the agent.
Good morning. My name is Mirka Kulesha. I'm the land studio. And the purpose of the application is to maintain the mistake.
You're breaking up very badly. I can't really understand what you're saying, ma'am. I didn't even know if you're a man.
Mirka, I have 2 of you joined, so I'm gonna try unmuting your other one. Maybe that one's better. Just give me 1 second.
Mirka, I guess, is a woman.
Yeah. I actually contacted. Yes, there is an echo now. Sorry about that.
Okay, I think that should just mute the other one. I hear like an echo on your background, but I think this is good now. Just mute the other one.
Can I help here? Mirka, we don't need a presentation on this. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
But you can say it more than once.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't really need to hear from you. We don't need a presentation. If you just, are you okay, yes or no, with us proceeding without a presentation from you?
Yes.
Oh, that's multiple yes. That's a real yes. Okay. Panel, any questions or comments from the agent? No?
Nope. No, thank you.
Then why don't we have a motion and make a decision? We only have one condition, urban forestry 2.
So, Chair, I believe this is indeed a minor variance. Perhaps it could be a technical variance since this was approved and some construction may have been started. Rear yard setback from 1.5 to 1.3, minor variance indeed. Desirable. Move approval with urban forestry condition number 2.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gully. Is there a seconder for
I'll second
Mr.
that.
Gully's motion? So Mr. Dalton, all in favor? That's unanimously approved. Thank you very much, Ms. Kulesha. And we're finished the morning session, so we will reconvene at 1 p.m. for the afternoon session. Yeah, we have a 1 3/4 hour lunch break.
Oh, yes.
That's always scary, right?
Keeping an eye out.
That's always scary.
Oh, yeah.